Shongdor nakaslem Jong Nongsan Hima.
Habayade bergejing pensngautu bakla halor kismat Metar, nakaliang umentri katanat boarding, James Sangma ula penchai, babaro kaba kibru, kiong, kadai kaba bakla, namar kador Jong Kawei kismat Metar, ka Shongdor, Kumba lai hajar nyospa sanpau tengka. Bat kamdei Haduh kandai hajar sospa saupsau tengka Kumba la kenok. Shushu ula ong ba gajing keno ba kador Jong Kawei ka Metar kalong kandai hajar sauspa saupsau tengka kadai gajing yalam bakla ya kipaj ba. Nakaliang umentri katanat boarding ula ong ba langba gajing pendon kam ya kismat Metar kan ya rap sibun bantip Haduh katno kilonging ki pendon kam ya ka boarding. Bat lengba kani katanat kan la ban pej benia bat penbiang ya gajing don kam Jong kipaj ba.
Very important point that you have raised. It is something I feel that is very irresponsible on the part of those people who are spreading such rumors that the cost of these smart meters is 9,444. I think that is the kind of figure they have floated out in the open. Now that is a very basic calculation they have done, is that the total project cost divided by the number of smart meters, and they have said that this is the cost of smart meters. That is very flawed. That is a wrong way to calculate the cost of the smart meters. The smart meters cost about 3,400 plus or minus, I can't remember it, but it is in that domain. So the cost of smart meters is something in that line, and today the project cost is something that that encompasses many components. It's not just it's just the component of the smart meter, the procurement of the smart meters. It also involves many things, and I have clearly spelt it out here that this will be a smart meter which will have many things which are there part of this project, and this will that is why the cost of the project is such, but the cost of a smart meter individual smart meter is about 3,400. So this is again a spread of misinformation that is taking place, which is very unfortunate, to just malign the government, and to say that that today smart meters is a project which is resulting in a huge burden to the state. On the contrary, this is a project which will bring about a lot of change, radical change in the way that the DISCOM functions. It will address many issues. It's not just about personalized, individualized service to customers, but also about reduction in AT&C losses and reduction in an improvement in the billing efficiency. Exactly why we need to have technology in place to identify. Now if you ask me for that information unfortunately is unavailable. So therefore how do we then improve the system? How do we make MEPDCL more robust? That information is not available. That's why when we bring in smart meters, it will be at the click of a button that we will be able to get all this information about consumer behaviorism, and we will be able to know which are the consumers who are paying on time, who are not paying on time, what is the kind of usage that they have, the consumption rather I should say that they have. So when we have all these things in place, I think that we can better plan, we can better forecast, we can better work out ways and means by which we improve the system. The available data is not enough to come out and plan these things also at present. So to answer your question, that information is not available right now. All these processes are followed, due diligence is done, and then only there is a sort of a benchmark price that is set, and then tenders are called, and then based on those tenders people bid. So I very much doubt that any kind of discussion took place in terms of 9,444 rupees per smart meter. Again, I'm saying that this is a figure arrived at by a very, very basic calculation, the project cost divided by the number of meters. I think that is the reason why people have, misunderstood the whole thing about smart meters. See, again, this is again very flawed, because people are also saying that the ADB grant that we're getting is a loan. So a lot of information is not there out in the public, which I feel maybe it is the fault of the MECL or the power department for not educating people enough that this is what is going to happen and this is where the funding is coming from. These things don't usually happen, to be honest, which I don't put the blame on MECL for that, because nobody ever goes around and says this is this project, this is the funding. Those details are not brought out. The detail, I mean, it's always usually an announcement, smart meters are being implemented. But having said that, now the problem is that people are calculating it very, very, in a very basic manner, this much divided by the number of smart meters, coming to 9,444, which is flawed. Number two, people misunderstood the fact that this is a loan that we're taking. This is a loan which is going to be then passed on to consumers. The government will have to service that loan. Again, that was misinformation. I made it very clear this is an ADB funded project. ADB works on 80-20. 80% is a loan which is taken by Government of India, which is then passed on to the states as a grant, in the form of a grant. Then, out of that 20%, that is the state funded, which the government of, the state contribution comes, that is something that the state contributes. We put in money so that, any kind of grant that comes in from government, we put our state counterpart funding. So that kind of misinformation was out there. Another misinformation which people wanted to put out in the public, I don't know why, for what reason this kind of misinformation is doing the rounds. They said that consumers will have to pay for these smart meters, which was again totally incorrect. Consumers don't have to pay for this, again, because the ADB has funded this project. It is being borne by this ADB fund, so consumers don't have to pay for these smart meters. But what I'm trying to say is that there is a lot of misinformation which is being put out to confuse people, and it's very unfortunate that this is taking place. Having said that, I think that now people are very, very clear on their minds that people are not paying for this. This is an ADB grant, and the cost of every meter is not 9,444, which is misinformation and lies being spread.
So I think